Hey everybody, Ari Whitten here and welcome back. We're now on our final training video and I have something very special in store for you today. This is going to be our best video yet. Now we've already done about 2 hours of training so far and I've given you some great stuff in these videos. We've covered strategies to normalize your brain neurotransmitters in video 1. We've covered 3 strategies to start repairing and regenerating damaged cell parts in mitochondria, with the strategies to boost autophagy in video 2, and how to start building your mitochondria bigger and stronger, building your cellular engine to be capable of producing more energy. What if I told you that what I've shown you so far is only about 5% of the overall energy blueprint system? This is the 6-step energy blueprint formula. And I'm gonna show you exactly what those 6 steps are that you need to do to beat fatigue and get your energy back. I'm guessing that for a lot of you, this is probably not the first time that you've attempted to improve your health or energy levels. The first thing I want to mention is that if you haven't succeeded in getting the results that you're after, or you've tried other programs or supplement regimens or anything else, and they failed to get you results, it's not your fault. If those past experiences have caused you to believe that you just can't succeed in overcoming fatigue and getting your energy back, I want you to put those fears to rest right now. You can do this. You can get your energy back. I've seen thousands of people do it already. The key is just that you need the science and you need the right system to do it. The truth is that most conventional doctors just don't have a lot to offer people struggling with chronic lack of energy. Most of the time, for people in this scenario, nothing comes back as being abnormal on blood tests, so they're either told by the doctor, nothing is wrong with you, or they're given a sleeping pill or an antidepressant or something like that, which, as I'm sure many of you already know, hasn't really solved your energy issues. Now, of course, if you do have some diagnosable medical condition that they have good treatment for, then by all means, you should be getting treatment for it. But in general, people with fatigue are left high and dry without much help. Alternatively, we have what I call the adrenal fatiguers. These are the alternative health professionals who will generally tell you that your fatigue issues are the result of your worn out adrenal glands. The story is that the adrenals produce a stress hormone called cortisol, and that with prolonged stress, your adrenals get taxed and eventually worn out and exhausted to the point where they can't produce enough cortisol to keep up with your stress demands, and that ultimately results in fatigue. Now, many of you might actually have been told that you have adrenal fatigue, and you might believe in everything that you were told. But in this video, I'm going to show you why your adrenals are actually not the main cause of your energy struggles. In this video, I'm going to show you breakthrough new science that has revolutionized our understanding of what causes fatigue and how to fix it. If you've ever felt like the strategies you've been implementing to try to improve your health and energy or the supplement regimens just aren't working like they should be, you're right. Most of what people have been teaching for the last several decades about how to overcome fatigue and increase your energy simply doesn't work very well for most people. And that's why you're here, right? You want to learn what does work. For you, my goal is to show you what's really causing your fatigue and how to fix it once and for all. The only way to do that effectively is by using the 6-step energy blueprint formula. And I'm going to show you those 6 steps of the energy blueprint formula in just a moment. But first, I just want to give you a quick glimpse into the kinds of results people are getting using this system. Here's a recent email I got from Lisi Parsons. Hi Ari, I hope all is well in your life. Things are great with me. I'm still following all the advice in the energy blueprint and I feel stronger and healthier every day. My hair has gotten crazy thick and long. You may remember it was falling out before. And most importantly, I have so much crazy energy that it's hard to contain myself. I know I've thanked you before, but I seriously could never have attained all this without your help. So thank you again. Here's another one from Beth Barbaglia. By the time I started the Energy Blueprint program in July 2014, I was in rough shape. Even after 7 months of hormone treatments and supplements to try to stabilize my system, I was still barely making it through the day. I had chronic fatigue syndrome, adrenal burnout, metabolic dysfunction, hypothyroidism, bankrupted hormone levels. You name it, I was diagnosed with it. I quite literally had less estrogen than a man. My hormone panel was that of a 75-year-old woman, but I was only 26. That's not an exaggeration. I could barely wake up most days. I couldn't think straight to save my life, and exercise wiped me out. Even just a walk around the block would leave me exhausted for days. My hands and feet were always freezing. I hadn't had a period in 2 years. My skin was cold to the touch, and my face looked like Dracula. I started the Energy Blueprint strategies and flipped my lifestyle upside down immediately. And thank God I did. The Energy Blueprint system helped me make a complete comeback. And people who meet me now don't believe me when I say that less than a year ago, I looked like death, felt like crap, and was cranky as hell. I went from what I call elephant dart face, extreme fatigue like I've been shot with an elephant tranquilizer, to dominating the athletic fields again in under a year, which is mind-blowing. I spent a good 10 years damaging my body. I would have never thought I could heal so fast. I'm now 5 for 5 on periods in the new year, and I never thought I'd be fist pumping about that, but I've never had a normal cycle on my own, ever, until now. I have unreal amounts of energy now. I can think clearly again, and nobody believes my age when I tell them. That's always a good sign that my youth hormones are back, eh? As I've told Ari, I want to squeeze his face in such a good way for what this program has done for me. If you're tired of looking for a solution and your symptoms feel unbeatable, take a chance on this. It may just be the best choice you ever make. This method works to allow people of all ages to transform their energy levels, sometimes doubling or tripling their energy in just weeks, without spending a fortune on supplements and without going on crazy restrictive diets. Let me just show you a glimpse into where we're headed. This is the Energy Blueprint system, and these are the 6 steps that I'm going to be showing you in this presentation. But first, I want to tell you a little story. I told you in the first video how I've spent the last several years obsessively exploring the scientific research in this area to build out the first comprehensive blueprint for energy enhancement ever created. I'd like to take you on a journey of scientific discovery, and I'm going to show you things that are going to blow you away. At the end of it, you're going to know more about how to fix your fatigue and get your energy back than just about everyone out there. See, several years ago, I actually crashed myself. I went through an intense period of chronic stress and I actually completely burned out. I developed severe chronic fatigue that just wouldn't lift despite my best efforts to rest and eat well and do all the things that I knew how to do. My muscles would start burning really easily, even doing very simple things like just slowly walking up a flight of stairs. I needed to sleep 9 or 10 hours a night and woke up still feeling tired. All of a sudden, I couldn't do exercise the same way that I used to. I was doing less than half as much as I used to, and I'd feel wiped out from it. I started to have chronic tension and anxiety. I was waking up 3 times a night to go pee. My body just felt like it wanted to sit on the couch all day. And I'd feel like a total failure at the end of every day because I just didn't have the energy to get things done. Somehow, despite feeling like I was doing things right in my life and being a pretty health-conscious guy, I was slowly becoming a wreck. Of course, since I had been studying and teaching nutrition and fitness already for over a decade at that point, I had heard of the concept of adrenal fatigue, and I thought that might be the cause of some of my issues. So I went to a local naturopath, and sure enough, he promptly informed me that I did in fact have adrenal fatigue. Now, I immediately felt empowered by that diagnosis. All of a sudden, I felt like I knew the cause of the issue. It was my adrenals, and I thought that if I fixed my adrenals, then my energy would return. So after getting diagnosed with adrenal fatigue, I started reading every article and book on adrenal fatigue that I could find. And then I started to notice that many of those articles and books I was reading lacked mentions of the scientific research. So I thought it would be a good idea to compile all the scientific research into a book that would teach people about the science of fixing adrenal fatigue. It was a simple and straightforward idea. I wanted to basically compile and make sense of all the scientific research around the causes and best treatments for adrenal fatigue, mainly for myself, selfishly at first, and then it could also be used to help others. I wanted to create the most comprehensive science-based book to understanding adrenal fatigue in existence. I even had a title picked out, The Science-Based Guide to Adrenal Fatigue. Now, as I got into it, I found something totally and utterly bizarre. something that made absolutely no sense to me at the time. I went to PubMed.com, which is basically like Google for all the scientific research in the world. It's sort of the repository of all the world's scientific studies. Now, I was set to begin what I thought was going to be a 3 to 6 month long process of reading basically all the scientific research on adrenal fatigue that's been conducted over the last several decades. And then something absolutely crazy happened. There wasn't anything there. I discovered that literally almost no research on adrenal fatigue has ever been conducted, which was totally and completely baffling. Because somehow there are thousands of people writing articles about adrenal fatigue and presenting scientific-looking illustrations about the different phases of adrenal fatigue, and millions of people who are being diagnosed with adrenal fatigue every day. So how could there be no scientific research on a condition that many naturopaths and other health practitioners all over the world are diagnosing people with every day, all the time? So if the craziness of this situation is not hitting you, let me explain this in a different way. Think of a medical condition. Any medical condition you can think up. So diabetes, stroke, Alzheimer's, obesity, lung cancer, pancreatic cancer, psoriasis, dementia, even obscure ones like Addison's disease or whatever you can think up. Then go to PubMed.com, that Google for all the scientific research in the world, and look up that condition. You'll notice, regardless of which condition you chose, anything that you could have possibly come up with, you'll notice that between hundreds or thousands of studies will quickly appear for each and every one of those conditions. If you do the same exact search for adrenal fatigue, guess how many studies you'll find? Virtually none. Almost nothing. The systematic literature review of the scientific studies, all the relevant studies on this topic, is even titled "Adrenal Fatigue Does Not Exist." So think about this scenario for a moment. Let's say you're diagnosed with a particular condition, and let's say you went home and you wanted to look at the scientific research on that condition. Then let's say after all your searching, you found virtually no scientific research in existence on that subject. And one of the only pieces of scientific research that even exists was titled "Your Condition Does Not Exist." You'd probably have some alarm bells going off, right? You'd probably be thinking something was off about this whole scenario. Something's not right here. Well, if someone's told you that you have adrenal fatigue, that is precisely the situation that you're now in. So I decided to do something kind of crazy to get to the bottom of all this. Something that, to my knowledge, no one else had ever done because there was no such information anywhere to be found. I decided that I was going to find every study in existence that had relevance to the adrenals or cortisol or HPA axis function and fatigue and exhaustion. Now, by the way, real quick, HPA axis function is talking about the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. Still kind of this adrenal system, just with a couple other players involved. But really, I wanted to look at all the science around adrenal function and cortisol, and anything that could be related to that, to see if these symptoms, fatigue and exhaustion, are being caused by problems here with adrenals and cortisol. So I wanted to know once and for all, is fatigue caused by adrenal or cortisol issues? So I analyzed literally every study in existence on this topic. And here's the cool part. While there isn't any science on adrenal fatigue, I actually found a ton of science on several related conditions. Burnout syndrome, chronic fatigue syndrome, HPA axis dysfunction, just plain chronic stress. There's some literature around chronic stress and adrenals and cortisol level, and then exhaustion disorder. So I had all of these bodies of scientific literature that I could look to try and figure things out. Now, unlike adrenal fatigue, all of these are actual recognized and accepted medical conditions. And unlike adrenal fatigue, all of these have studies that we can look to in order to figure out the causes of fatigue. And here's what I ultimately discovered. The overall body of evidence does not support the idea that our adrenals or cortisol levels are the cause of fatigue. Let me show you some of the research so you can see for yourself. Here's one study published in the Journal for Psychoneuroendocrinology looking at cortisol release in relationship to fatigue and chronic fatigue syndrome, and actually reviewing lots of studies on it. Here's what they concluded. total cortisol output, or morning cortisol levels, were rarely associated with fatigue in any population. Here's another one, burnout and hypocortisolism. That's low cortisol levels. So is it a matter of severity? Here's what they concluded. Hypocortisolism, low cortisol levels, are not present in a clinical burnout patient group. No alterations in diurnal cortisol profiles before and during treatment. This is another one where they treated people with stress-related exhaustion, actually got them better and measured their cortisol levels the whole time. Here's what they concluded. Diurnal salivary cortisol give a rather poor reflection of the prolonged stress exposure experienced by patients with exhaustion disorder. Such basal salivary cortisol measurements do not seem suitable as biomarkers for stress-related conditions such as exhaustion disorder or burnout. Here's another one, and this is a systematic literature review, which is the highest level of scientific evidence because it reviews all of the studies on a subject. Here's what they showed. No difference for cortisol awakening response or cortisol in the blood between people with burnout versus normal, healthy, non-fatigued people. Speaking on the studies, the researchers said this, quote, when taken together among all the studies that investigated HPA axis function and burnout, 3 support an increase in HPA axis functions in burnout, meaning high cortisol levels more likely. 5 support a decrease in HPA axis functions, meaning the whole system's kind of downregulated. 11 did not support a significant relationship, meaning they could not detect any difference between fatigued, burned out people in chronic stress versus normal, healthy, regular people. So they concluded, quote, the pioneering studies that focused on the relationship between burnout and dysregulation of the HPA axis have yielded inconsistent results, right? Some high, some low, some showed no difference. Data from subsequent studies with improved designs suggest there is no HPA axis dysregulation in burnout. I went through over 150 studies, literally every relevant study in existence. Here's what I found. 23% of them showed high cortisol levels associated with fatigue or burnout. 22% showed low cortisol levels associated with fatigue or burnout. And 55% of them showed no abnormalities whatsoever in either cortisol or the HPA axis. And the systematic literature reviews all mesh with that and conclude that cortisol and HPA axis abnormalities are not the cause of fatigue. So the bottom line here is the adrenal fatigue story is falsified by the evidence. So now that we know that cortisol levels and our adrenals are not the cause of our fatigue issues, let's talk about what is. And I'll give you a clue here. While it took me years of research and experimentation to figure all of this out, I'll give you a little 2-second summary about what I discovered. And pay attention because what I'm about to show you is the big key to getting your energy back. It largely revolves around this. Now, some of you probably already recognize what this is, and maybe some of you don't. Either way, we're going to get into that in just a minute. And trust me, I'm going to show you some incredible new science. But let's get back to my story real quick. After I discovered that the adrenals and cortisol didn't really have much science to support the idea that they're the true cause of fatigue, I decided to go in search of what is the real cause of fatigue. And that's when I made a big decision. I decided that I was going to map out a comprehensive science-based blueprint of literally everything the scientific research says about the causes of fatigue and how to increase your energy. When I set out to do this, I thought it might take me maybe a few months to put it all together. It ended up taking me literally over 2 entire years of doing basically nothing except developing this system. Full-time research and experimentation with hundreds of clients. And another year has gone by since then where I've further refined the system. I spent thousands of hours reading through literally tens of thousands of studies. I spent hundreds of hours testing out the methods with my consulting clients, and I even enlisted the help of over a dozen world-renowned experts and scientists to help me develop the Energy Blueprint system. So what did I find at the end of all of that? Well, I found a whole lot of stuff. I found that literally dozens of systems in the body and dozens of different lifestyle factors can potentially cause fatigue. to give you a little glimpse into that, all of these different things are going on in fatigue. There's all of these different systems in the body that impact our energy levels and could potentially be reasons that contribute to our fatigue. There's also dozens of factors in our lifestyle and environment that affect our energy levels. Stimulants and caffeine, we talked about that in video 1. Autophagy, we talked about it in video 2. Hormesis, we talked about it in video 3, and I just scratched the surface of that. Hormesis itself is a huge factor in all of this. Then circadian rhythm. There's also nutrition, and there's many reasons why nutrition can contribute to fatigue. Sleep. Now, this is just one little thing. You know, some of these things, nutrition, circadian rhythm, hormesis, sleep, you know, I'm just listing them off very quickly, but these are massive factors, and there's whole mountains of literature, of scientific literature, thousands of studies on each one of these different things, and many different ways that they can contribute to problems. Infections, another one. Ikigai, this is the sense of purpose that you have in your life. ACEs, adverse childhood events. These are things that can traumatize us as children, and there's a bunch of research showing that these predispose to all kinds of health problems, including chronic fatigue. Water, simple thing, but depending on the purity of the water you drink and if you stay well hydrated, water can absolutely impact your energy levels. Sunlight, other diseases, social life and relationships, another factor. Chronic stress, of course, chronic psychological and emotional stress will absolutely cause fatigue. Something as simple as alcohol, prescription and over-the-counter drugs, another factor that is a huge cause of mitochondrial dysfunction and fatigue later on. And toxin exposure, you know, again, kind of like with nutrition, circadian rhythm, hormesis, sleep, you know, a lot of these other ones we've talked about. I'm listing this off just as one little thing, but this is actually something that could potentially take up 10 hours of lecture. This is a huge topic and there's a mountain of science on it. So all of these factors, and I haven't even covered them all. This is just as many as I could list here. So you probably feel a little bit like this right now. It's information overload, right? I just threw a whole bunch of complex stuff at you, all these dozens of different factors and systems in the body. So let me simplify all of this stuff for you. What I ultimately discovered is that there is one big secret to understanding what's really causing fatigue and how to fix it. If you want to know the big secret to fatigue, it's all about this. The primary cause of fatigue is the shutdown of your mitochondria. And that is why most scientists in the field of fatigue research have now largely shifted their attention towards the mitochondria. Now let me show you the biggest breakthrough in fatigue science in the history of studying this field. It comes from a team of scientists at UCSD who run a lab for mitochondrial medicine. Basically, what they found is that mitochondria are not what we think they are. We all talk about mitochondria as cellular energy generators or power plants or batteries of the cell, right? And even me, during this video training series, I've been telling you that mitochondria are exactly that. I've been referring to them as energy generators or power plants. And even with just that function, mitochondria would be incredibly important. I mean, we're talking about energy, right? So what could be more important than our energy generators in our cells? But what if I told you that mitochondria are so much more than just that? What if I told you that mitochondria have a whole other role, a role that is just as important as producing the energy that all of our cells run on? And what if I told you that this role of mitochondria is the secret key to understanding how to increase your energy? And that despite being the key to this whole puzzle, almost no one, even those health gurus who talk about mitochondria, are even aware of this. It sounds like some wacky conspiracy, right? Or maybe that I'm just going to tell you about some fringe research that is not respected by quote-unquote real scientists. Too good to be true, right? But indeed, it is true. It's no crazy conspiracy or fringe science. This is real deal science from one of the world's most brilliant, respected, and prolific scientists, and someone that I consider to be the Einstein of health. Here is the big secret. Cell defense. Mitochondria are involved in cell defense. Now, you might be thinking right now, that's your big secret, Ari? Why the heck do I care about that? What difference does it make to me if the mitochondria are involved in cell defense? I want to talk about my energy levels. I know, I'm well aware of that. So here is why this is the big secret of fatigue. The more that you ask the mitochondria to engage in cell defense, the more that you will shut down their ability to produce energy. And if your mitochondria have partially or fully shut down their energy production, then you will feel the symptom of fatigue. So think of it this way. Your mitochondria have these two roles, energy mode and cell defense mode. It turns out that mitochondria can't do both of these at the same time very well. So what happens is they kind of are operating in this way. The more you get one, the less you get the other. So the more you ask your mitochondria to go into cell defense mode, the less they can operate in energy mode. And this team of scientists discovered why mitochondria are getting switched off. They call it the cell danger response. And this is the study. I personally believe that this research is among the most important pieces of research in the entire history of the field of health. I believe that it will help unlock the secrets to beating numerous different kinds of chronic diseases, but especially chronic fatigue. Here's the lead researcher, Robert Naviaux, explaining this concept. Quote, "The cell danger response, CDR, is the evolutionarily conserved metabolic response that protects cells and hosts, you, from harm. It's triggered by encounters with chemical, physical, or biological threats that exceed the cellular capacity for homeostasis, that exceed your cell's capacity for maintaining health and balance." It turns out that when mitochondria detect danger to the cell, they shift first into stress mode, then fight mode that takes most of the energy producing metabolic functions of mitochondria offline. So again, this is what's going on. They have these two roles. The more you activate cell defense mode, the less you have energy. So etch this image into your mind, because what you see here, what's going on in this simple little image, this is the fundamental cause of fatigue issues. To get more of one, you have to decrease the other. So do you have energy problems? This means that your mitochondria are being forced to operate in defense mode too much. If you have great energy, it's because you're allowing your mitochondria to operate in energy mode. So let this sink in. If you have chronic lack of energy, that simply means that your mitochondria have shifted away from energy mode, this buff, flexing mitochondria over here, towards this spiky, scary looking mitochondria over here, defense mode. And when they switch into defense mode, you have the symptom of fatigue. Now, if all of this seems abstract to you and seems just kind of weird and out there, let me ground this in your own personal experience so that you get this, because you've actually experienced this yourself. Just think for a moment about the last time you got really sick with a cold or a flu or some other infection. Remember how your body felt fatigued a lot of the time and how you needed more sleep and you felt more tired than you do normally? This is what happens when the body engages the cell danger response. Fatigue is the symptom of the body engaging the cell danger response and switching off your mitochondria. The reason why you feel fatigued is because your body has literally shut down energy production in a large portion of your body's mitochondria. That is the key to understanding what fatigue really is. Fatigue is what happens when your mitochondria have been taken offline. The more they've been taken offline, the more fatigue you have. This is a study called Metabolic Features of Chronic Fatigue Syndrome. What these researchers discovered is that people with chronic fatigue actually have their mitochondria largely shut off. And their conclusion was that fatigue is the result of the body shutting down the metabolism and turning off mitochondria. So it works to help you survive in a harsh environment, but unfortunately, it also has big consequences, especially that it wrecks your energy levels. So it turns out that mitochondria being shut down also cause several other familiar symptoms. So mitochondria being shut down affect all of these different systems in our body. And what happens to these different organ systems when mitochondria get shut down explains most of the different types of symptoms that people get when they're fatigued. Things like brain fog, things like chronic inflammation, things like poor detoxification, poor stamina, having a hard time standing up, poor mental and physical performance, on and on and on, right? It's because of how mitochondria are affecting the ability of these different organ systems to operate. Your energy is ultimately a reflection of what kind of environment your mitochondria perceive themselves to be in. It's also possible for your body to get stuck in chronic cell danger mode, and it can kind of get locked there and forget how to heal itself and forget how to get out of that mode. So if you're thinking, but I live a healthy lifestyle, I eat a pretty good diet, I'm taking care of myself, yet I'm still finding myself fatigued, well, that may be why you have that issue. It's because your body has been triggered into that cell danger response mode, and it's kind of been locked there, and it's forgotten how to heal itself and get out of that mode. This is the fundamental cause of fatigue. If you're fatigued, it is simply a message from your body telling you that the mitochondria are busy defending against threats. The more your mitochondria are asked to defend against threats, the more they shut down energy production and the more you will feel fatigued. To put this directly, your level of energy is directly proportional to the degree that your mitochondria are defending against threats. So you can think of this as a spectrum. On one end, you have debilitating severe chronic fatigue syndrome. On the other end of the energy spectrum, you have a young, fit, healthy person who lives an outdoor lifestyle and does plenty of exercise and is just running around, on all full cylinders with boundless energy seemingly. That is what mitochondria in full energy mode looks like. And severe, debilitating chronic fatigue syndrome is what your mitochondria look like when they're mostly shut off. Now, probably most of you listening are somewhere in here. You're somewhere in the fatigued realm, but you probably don't have debilitating chronic fatigue syndrome, or maybe you do, but you're probably somewhere in here. And what that means is that you've just headed in this direction of mitochondria in defense mode. There's degrees. Mitochondria are either switched a little bit more into energy mode or a little bit less into energy mode and more into defense mode. And that corresponds to your level of energy or your level of fatigue. So if you're fatigued, all that means is that your mitochondria have shifted away from energy mode and shifted towards defense mode. There are actually a number of different types of stressors that will cause your mitochondria to switch on the CDR, the cell danger response, and switch out of energy mode into defense mode. This gives you an idea of all the different types of factors that can shut down your mitochondria. Toxins, nutrient deficiencies and toxicities, lack of hormesis, and that's a big one, and it's a very complex one we're going to talk more about later. Leaky gut, psychological stress and ACEs, adverse childhood events, lack of movement, another factor that can damage mitochondria, light deficiencies and toxicities, inflammation, excess body fat, poor immune function, prescription and over-the-counter drugs. All of these and combinations of them will activate the cell danger response chronically. And guess what? Most people have at least 5 or 6 of these different things going on pretty much all the time. These are very common things, and most people don't even realize that they have things going on in their lifestyle and in their environment that are chronically activating the cell danger response and taking their mitochondria out of energy mode. So how does all of this relate to the energy blueprint? Simple. When you understand that fatigue is largely just a symptom of the body trying to protect itself against threats, and when you understand that your energy levels are mostly just a reflection of how much your mitochondria are switched into energy mode or defense mode, it now becomes completely clear what must be done to fix your energy. You must get your mitochondria out of chronic defense mode and switch your mitochondria back into energy mode. And that is exactly what the 6 steps of the energy blueprint are designed to do. These 6 steps are the blueprint to switching the body's energy generating systems back on. And that's why I organized my energy blueprint program around these 6 steps. So what I'd like to do now is share with you exactly what these 6 steps are. And then I want to invite you to join me for the next 60 days where I'll take you step by step through this system and walk you through how to implement these 6 steps in your life to switch your mitochondria back into energy mode. If you do these 6 steps of the energy blueprint formula, it's virtually a guarantee that you will transform your energy levels. So what is the energy blueprint? It's an 8-week in-depth training designed to switch your body back into high energy mode. In this program, I literally break down the most cutting-edge scientific system for energy enhancement ever developed, and I walk you through how to install it in your life, step by step. So right now, I want to give you the hype-free overview of the Energy Blueprint. So I'm not going to get all hyped up and try to get you all hyped up about what this is and how it can help you. You've listened to me, you've heard my story, I've already showed you a few cutting-edge strategies, and you know what I'm saying can help you. So what I want to do is I just want to go over exactly what's in the Energy Blueprint and how it can help you. And if it's right for you, then I want you to get it. And if it's not right for you, I don't want you to get it. I'm going to do this without fanfare. I'm going to do this without hype. Here's what it is. Step 1, eliminate triggers of the CDR. Eliminate triggers of the cell danger response. And that's the most important step. See, your energy levels, as I've shown you, are largely a reflection of how much your mitochondria have been taken offline and switched into defense mode instead of energy mode. In other words, how much your environment is forcing them to activate the cell danger response. So this module is incredibly important. It's the first and most important step that everything else in the remaining 5 steps depends on. This module teaches you the specific factors that trigger your mitochondria into defense mode and how to systematically eliminate them in every area of your life. And that is the first step in reactivating the mitochondria. You have to first take the things away that are putting them in defense mode. As long as your mitochondria are still being forced to defend against threats, they cannot switch back into energy mode. So you must identify and eliminate the things that trigger defense mode. These strategies alone, even without all the other powerful strategies in this program, often double people's energy levels and cause a massive transformation of their life within just a few weeks. Also in this section, we're going to talk a lot about circadian rhythm and neurotransmitters that control your energy levels. This is a huge piece of the puzzle when it comes to rebuilding and regenerating your mitochondria. And the reason why is that the process of rebuilding mitochondria actually takes place while you sleep. So if you don't sleep deeply and restfully, you're simply not going to repair your mitochondria. They're going to be forever stuck in defense mode. Poor circadian rhythm and sleep also lowers your threshold for engaging the cell danger response. So when circadian rhythm and sleep are not optimal, your mitochondria are much more easily shifted into defense mode, meaning they're less resilient, they're much less tolerant of stressors, and they'll shut down energy production much more easily. In this module, you'll get 15 secrets of optimizing your circadian rhythm and another 12 powerful strategies to allow your body to repair and recharge your mitochondria each night while you sleep. This is powerful stuff that goes way beyond, the tired old, get your 8 hours of sleep stuff that you've heard a million times before. This is advanced science around optimizing circadian biology through specific timing of light exposure, meal timing, nutrient timing, and movement timing, and many other factors. These strategies alone typically massively improve people's energy levels, and for people with sleep issues, I've frequently seen these strategies even double people's energy levels within just a couple weeks. Next, we have step 2, repair and recharge your mitochondria. After you've eliminated the triggers of defense mode, you now need to start repairing and recharging your mitochondria. See, when mitochondria are triggered into defense mode, they're undergoing damage. Numerous studies have shown higher levels of oxidative damage in the mitochondria in people with chronic fatigue. Not only that, but they lose their energy-making substrates. The mitochondria actually lose the substrates that they need to make energy from. So literally the building blocks that mitochondria need to make energy get washed out into the bloodstream and out of your body. As long as they lack these energy building blocks, they remain switched into defense mode. So 2 things need to happen here. 1, you must repair the physical damage to the mitochondrial membranes. And 2, you must recharge the mitochondria with the factors that they need to make new energy, these energy building blocks. Also, in Module 2, I'm going to take you through the Energy Blueprint diet, which is specifically designed to repair and recharge your mitochondria. Now, just to give you an idea of the science behind this, to show you how powerful this is, let me show you just one of the strategies that I teach to repair mitochondrial membranes. Consider that just one of the dozens of strategies I'm going to teach you in this module has already been scientifically proven to decrease fatigue by over 40% in just 8 weeks. This is the actual data from the scientific study on the subject. People with chronic fatigue, people with aging and fatigue, chronic fatigue syndrome, obesity and fatigue, aging and chronic fatigue, Lyme disease. Here's what they showed. In all of these different conditions and causes of fatigue, this is how much it reduced fatigue in just 8 weeks. 40.5%, 35.5, 43.1, 24, 36.8, 26. These are massive reductions in fatigue in just 8 weeks from just one strategy, from one of dozens of strategies that I'm going to show you. For this section on the Energy Blueprint diet, this is not just the same tired old diet tips you've heard a million times before, like eat your vegetables, drink more water, eat balanced meals, avoid coffee, eat 5 to 6 smaller meals more frequently rather than 2 to 3 meals. This is cutting edge nutrition science that you can apply to radically improve your mitochondrial function and dramatically boost your energy and maintain it for life. Next, we have step 3, which is to heal and seal the gut. Many studies have now proven that gut permeability, or leaky gut, is commonly present in people with chronic fatigue. And several studies have shown dramatic decreases in fatigue, i.e. increases in energy, when specific programs are undertaken to heal the gut. One study has even showed a complete remission of chronic fatigue syndrome and allowing a young girl to completely get back to normal just through a specific gut healing regimen. When you have leaky gut, you end up with bacterial toxins constantly trickling into your bloodstream, where they cause chronic inflammation, they disrupt hormones, they disrupt brain function and contribute to brain fog, headaches, all sorts of different brain issues. They cause sleep issues, and they damage your mitochondria and shift them into defense mode. So healing and sealing the gut is a critical piece of the puzzle to getting your energy back. Some researchers even believe that this factor alone is the primary cause of chronic fatigue, and that healing it is the big key to overcoming fatigue. In this module, I show you evidence-based strategies to heal leaky gut that go far beyond the info that you can find online. I'll show you literally over 20 strategies scientifically proven to rebuild the protective lining of the gut and repair the leaks. This is yet another extraordinarily powerful strategy to not only dramatically increase your energy, but also protect yourself from numerous diseases that are linked with leaky gut and this problem of endotoxin leaking into the bloodstream. Next, step 4, fix the liver and detox. When you actually go and look at the science, you will be shocked to discover that there is actually a mountain of science showing specific types of toxins actually do build up in our body, and many of them are known mitochondrial toxins. So this is a very big deal, and it absolutely is science-based 100%. So numerous different types of toxins have now been scientifically linked to chronic fatigue. In fact, there are fewer, more direct ways of switching your mitochondria out of energy mode and into defense mode than through exposure to toxins. And unfortunately, our modern world is full of them. In our food, our air, our homes, our water, heavy metals like mercury and lead in our food and water, volatile organic compounds in our homes and offices, BPA and phthalates in plastics, and in things, food and water that are stored in plastics, pesticide and herbicide residues, fluoride and chlorine, disinfection byproducts, which are even more toxic than chlorine itself, alcohol, and well over 50% of prescription drugs and many over-the-counter drugs are known mitochondrial toxins when taken long-term. We are dealing with a chronic burden of small exposures to literally thousands of different metals and chemical toxins on a daily basis. And if we don't regularly stimulate our detoxification pathways, these toxins absolutely do build up in our bodies and cause damage to our liver and mitochondrial health. In this module, I teach you the most effective ways to stimulate the 3 main pathways of detoxification: the liver, the gut, and the skin, to get built up toxins out of your body and out of your mitochondria. Next, we have step 5, which is neuroscience to rewire your brain for energy mode. So brain-based energy enhancement. In this module, you're gonna get cutting-edge neuroscience to rewire your brain for high energy mode. Things like psychological stress, adverse childhood events, depression, anxiety, endocannabinoid depletion, and limbic system dysfunction are now well-studied causes of fatigue. I'll be showing you how stress and anxiety short-circuit your brain and turn off your mitochondria, and I'll show you the most powerful science-backed strategies to rewire your brain and eliminate stress and anxiety. As I mentioned earlier, if you live in the modern world and you don't have a system in place for consciously operating your brain, you'll end up in the default of chronic stress, depression, and anxiety. So having a science-backed operating system for your brain is a must. Step 6, grow your mitochondria. And this is actually my favorite one, the one I enjoy talking the most about, and the one that I believe is actually the biggest key to all of this. Module 6, Hormesis to build your cellular engine, the secret key to becoming stress-proof and transforming your energy. Your energy levels are largely a reflection of two things. One is the extent to which your mitochondria are switched into energy mode or defense mode. How big and powerful your mitochondria are and how many mitochondria you have. Taking your body to the next level in terms of making your body stress-proof and increasing your health and energy levels is largely about the systematic application of hormesis. Understanding these concepts and strategies is a major secret to health and energy that the vast majority of both conventional and alternative physicians are just not aware of. What's the relationship of the cell danger response to hormesis? This is an important concept that we didn't get to cover in video 3, but I want to mention this. Hormesis has a huge impact on the cell danger response. Your susceptibility to fatigue, how prone your mitochondria are to being overwhelmed by stressors, is largely a function of how big and powerful your mitochondria are, which is largely a function of how much hormesis you engage in regularly. Also, when the body gets locked in fatigue mode, it forgets how to heal itself. Hormesis is the trigger that helps reteach your body how to heal, but it must be done in the right way. And exercise, the most common form of hormesis, is actually a terrible place for people with severe fatigue to start. Between the age of 40 to 70, people typically lose half their mitochondrial capacity, which is their capacity to produce energy. And likely there's probably a similar decline between the ages of 20 to 40, though that hasn't been studied yet. But this is the basic trend that most people in our world are dealing with. They're moving from lots of big, powerful mitochondria to just a few little weak, fragile ones, and probably that are largely stuck in defense mode. So this is what happens to people when they don't engage in hormesis. In other words, people who don't regularly engage in hormesis, which is over 90% of the Western world, are pretty much guaranteed to lose more than half of their potential to produce energy at the cellular level between the ages of 40 to 70. To put this another way, if you do not regularly practice multiple forms of hormesis, it is basically guaranteed that you will be fatigued if you're not already. So I believe this is an absolutely huge factor that pretty much 99.9% of doctors and health gurus out there just are not talking about and are not addressing. They're focused on uncovering sources of nutrient deficiencies and telling people to rest and lower their stress levels, get more sleep, take a bunch of supplements to fix their adrenals, and so on. But virtually none of them are addressing the elephant in the room, which is our epidemic of mitochondrial atrophy. So you can take all the supplements you want, rest all you want, lower your stress levels, and eat the best diet in the world, but if you do not take steps to build and rebuild your mitochondria, I believe you are destined to be fatigued. This module will give you an array of super powerful strategies that you've never heard before to massively enhance your cellular energy production so that you can double your mitochondrial capacity, potentially add over 15 years to your life, and I'll show you the science to back that up, dramatically boost your energy levels, protect you from countless diseases, increase your physical performance, improve your emotional state and mood, and massively enhance your overall vitality and quality of life. So this is the 6-step energy blueprint formula. These are the 6 steps you need to do to get your energy back. Now, there's nothing else like this on the entire market. Now, you can certainly find programs with maybe one of these different steps or maybe 2, but nothing else on the market like this. Nothing even comes close. Here's what you get with the energy blueprint. Everything I just went over, the 60-day energy blueprint full program with all of those 6 modules that we just covered. And the value of that is $4,000. The Energy Blueprint doesn't just go beyond every other product and system in existence for energy enhancement. This is a giant quantum leap above everything else out there. There's simply no comparison. Every other product on the subject of energy levels gets at less than 5 to 10% of the strategies that you'll find in this program. This is the first and only complete scientific solution to energy enhancement. You are getting the exact system that has already transformed over 1,000 lives. But let me make this decision a complete no-brainer for you. Let me make it the easiest decision you've ever made. On top of all the incredible content in this program, you're protected by the best guarantee ever. Here's the ultimate guarantee. You have an unconditional 60-day money-back guarantee. You have the entire length of the program to use the program and implement all the strategies into your life, to test it out and make sure that it actually works. And if you don't transform your energy levels, if you don't sleep better than you have in a decade and radically improve your mood, and if you're not absolutely blown away by all the secrets in this program, and you don't have friends and family begging to know your secrets of how you look so good and how you're so filled with energy, then you're entitled to a full refund. If you use the program and don't get massive results in your energy and your life, just let us know and we'll give you a full refund. No questions asked, no wiggle clauses, no shenanigans, and you can still keep everything. This is my commitment to your results. Now, obviously, people can take advantage of me here. They can buy this program, get access to something which took years of development and tens of thousands of dollars to create, and then use all the methods, and then even get all their money back in full on top of that. But that's how committed I am to making sure that people feel 100% safe and risk-free in starting this program. If your energy levels and your entire life aren't transformed from the system, you'll not only get your money back, but you get to keep the entire system, including all my secrets that I've spent years of my life developing. Now, if all this amazing content and the can't lose guarantee aren't enough for you, that's why I've created an added bonus. The Energy Blueprint Cookbook, which happens to be designed by my wife, professional chef Marcela Yodra. This cookbook will show you the exact meals and recipes that I myself eat. Skip all the guesswork and start eating for maximal energy right now, today. No guesswork. You can start making these meals literally today. You'll even get weekly videos from her showing exactly how to make the meals that we eat in our own home. Super simple and easy to prep meals that are also ultra powerful in their effects on energy levels. So now the total value of everything I'm gonna offer here is $4,100. But there's actually another bonus here. Bonus number 2, the top 23 science-proven supplements for energy enhancement. And this is a guide to supplements that actually work. So it's gonna cut through all the pseudoscientific baloney around all the thousands of junk supplements, stimulants, and fat burners and energy pills that are out there. And it's gonna show you the top 23 supplements that are actually worth the money and are scientifically proven to improve energy levels in a lasting way that builds up over time, instead of just wrecks you over time, like most energy drinks, pills, and potions out there. And this guide in itself is literally worth thousands, because that's how much money it can potentially allow you to save from spending on junk and worthless supplements, and even supplements that might be counterproductive. But let's just call it a $200 value, even though it can save you thousands. So now the total value is $4,300 of everything that I'm gonna include. Bonus number 3, neuroscience to rewire your brain for optimal energy with Mark Waldman and Nikki Gratrix. Mark Waldman is a neuroscience expert, author of over 12 best-selling books, and Nikki Gratrix is a world-renowned energy and fatigue expert with expertise in releasing psychological wounds and traumas. So in this module, you're gonna learn the most powerful neuroscience-backed ways to eliminate your mental and physical stress, cut the negativity out of your life, release psychological wounds and traumas, rid yourself of anxiety, and create powerful recharge rituals that dramatically boost your energy levels, and to reprogram your brain for maximal happiness, maximal joy, and maximal energy. That bonus with Mark Waldman is $1,000 value. So now we're up to a total of $5,300. Now we're still not done here. Bonus number 4 is heal your immune function and overcome chronic infections with Dr. Tim Jackson. Chronic infections and poor immune function are common issues in people with chronic fatigue issues. In this video, Dr. Jackson breaks down the complex science and gives you a step-by-step guide on how to overcome the various chronic infections that might be a source of your energy struggles. And he shows you breakthrough new science on how to keep your immune system ultra strong for the rest of your life to prevent infections from ever compromising your energy. Now the total value is up to $6,300. Bonus number 5, science-based detox with Dr. Brian Walsh. Detoxing is an area where there's a ton of pseudoscience and misinformation out there, like I told you before. But what if you had a truly evidence-based guide to what actually works for detoxing and how to actually do it in order to remove various toxins from your body in the safest, most effective, and most science-based way possible? In this video, Dr. Walsh breaks down the science and gives you a step-by-step, science-based guide on how to do exactly that. Now the total value is up to $7,300. But we're still not done here. Last bonus, bonus number 6, the mitochondrial biogenesis protocol. This is a specific protocol that took me years and countless hours of research and experimentation to develop. This is a specific set of synergistic strategies that will massively increase the amount of mitochondria, the energy generators, in your cells. So you'll learn how to layer multiple strategies together to synergize and amplify the effects on building your cellular engine. Now, you cannot find this set of strategies anywhere else, trust me. I usually cover this information over the course of about 4 consultations with people, which normally costs over $1,300. Now we're at a total value of $7,800. In addition, I'm also going to give you a support bonus, access to the private members group. You're going to get access to me and my team of Energy Blueprint coaches that I've handpicked and personally trained myself in the online members group. And this is only available for purchasers of this program. And you're also going to get support from our vibrant and loving community of over 1,000 members of the program who have already gone through it. Now we're up to a total value of $8,800. You'll also get access to live support with me personally every week during our weekly live Q&A calls. Now we're at a total value of $9,800. But I'm not going to charge you that much. Your price is 3 payments of $197 or just 1 payment of $497. Now, I've run seminars where I've taught a fraction of this information and charged $2,000 to $3,000 per person, and it was sold out. I've charged one-on-one clients thousands of dollars for consultations where I've taught the same exact information, which, by the way, they're happy to pay for because of the results they got. And by the way, to get all the 12+ hours of content in the Energy Blueprint program, it would cost you over $4,000 in consultation fees. And the truth is that I've actually made numerous improvements to the Energy Blueprint system over the last year that most of those people never even got. $497 is actually what I charge for a single consultation with me. And this is about the same price that you could expect to pay for a single visit to many health professionals where you wouldn't learn 80 or 90% of what I'm going to teach you in this program. Now be quick if you want in here because I'm including personal access to me in this program. So be aware that because I'm doing this, I have to devote time and energy into every member who joins the program. And because of that, I have to cap the class size. So there's a very limited number of people that I'll even accept into this program. And once it sells out, which it will within a few days, we're closing down. And because the course starts in just a few days, I have to shut down registration so that everyone goes through the course at the same time. So registration is going to close fast. So be quick here. If you want to be part of this group that's going to spend the next 60 days switching their body into high energy mode, you need to act now before it sells out and before registration closes. So here's what to do next. Click the buy button below this video. Choose your payment plan. Then you'll immediately receive an email with your login username and password so that you can get instant access to the Energy Blueprint system and start today. Then every week you'll get a new lesson to take your energy to a new level, and my team and I will guide you step by step through the whole process to ensure that you get the results you want. Remember, you're also getting personal access to me to answer your questions via our live Q&A sessions every week. And you're getting access to the Facebook group where you can get answers from me and my team of Energy Blueprint coaches to help you get everything dialed in. And real quick, if you don't have Facebook, I'll also make an area where you can get access to get your questions answered from me and my team of coaches as well. Now, I charge over $6,000 for 8 weeks of coaching. So just by getting access to me to personally help you, you're getting over $6,000 of value. Now, you could try all this on your own. Now that you know the 6 steps of the Energy Blueprint system, you might be tempted to go and try it out on your own. You can go out there online and read various articles and watch videos. You can spend thousands of dollars on all the fanciest supplements. You can reach out to various kinds of health practitioners and nutritionists trying to solve your energy issues, weed through and experiment with all of that. But here's the thing. It took me years of full-time obsessive research and experimentation with thousands of clients and paying thousands of dollars to get access to world-renowned scientists to figure all of this out. So instead of trying to figure all this out for yourself, you could save all that time, money, and energy because I've already spent it for you. And you can just get access to the Energy Blueprint system. It will cost you some money, yes, but you'd spend 10 times more money trying to figure all this out on your own. So if you want to know the formula for what actually works and not worry about stepping on the landmines or just wasting years of your life and thousands of dollars without anything to show for it, then you simply need to get this program. See if it'll work for you. These methods are 100% backed by science that has already proven that they do work. So this is not like you just have to take my word for it or something like that. Plus, if somehow you're so unique and so unlike everyone else who's been proven to be helped by these methods, and somehow they don't massively improve your energy, then all you have to do is just send us an email asking for your money back. This is a 100% can't lose guarantee with 0 risk. The only thing that you can possibly lose here is that chronic feeling of fatigue. Let me just show you what people who go through this program tell me. This is an email I received from Susan just a couple weeks ago. Ari, I feel like you literally transplanted me into a new body, a body filled with energy. It's crazy. It's honestly like I'm no longer trapped in the same fatigue body that I've been trapped in for so many years. The Energy Blueprint has given me my life back. Thank you. Here's some more for you. This is Marianne. She's saying, today I did my first full yoga class for the first time in a long time. When she started the Energy Blueprint in October, she was only trying 5 minutes of yoga, and then she'd be so wiped out from it that she didn't even have the energy to drive herself home. Now she's doing full yoga classes and drove there and back herself, no problem. Here's one from Christine. I can honestly say this program is worth every penny you spend. I now sleep through the night with only an occasional awakening. This is compared to waking up 3 or 4 times during the night. Here's another one from Oliver Selway. As a personal trainer with almost 10 years experience and someone who has always had their eye on the ball as far as health is concerned, I was pretty sure this would be the same old stuff I was used to reading and repeating on a daily basis. Usually these sorts of programs are common sense advice repackaged in fancy marketing materials and pushed onto a naive consumer who think they're getting something that they couldn't just learn themselves from 10 minutes on Google. Ari appears to have spent years trawling through the scientific literature, and from this has single-handedly painted a new paradigm for health, longevity, and supercharged energy levels, dispelling much of the nonsense that is repeated everywhere and introducing razor-sharp protocols that no one else is practicing. He layers multiple lifestyle tweaks together in a way that is both practical and fun to learn. This extensive and densely packed program is like no other. Rather than repeating tired, unexamined cliches like get more sleep, drink plenty of water, don't forget to take your antioxidants, I was presented with a positive wealth of cutting-edge tools for improving my health and energy levels. This is the only program I know where the advice comes straight from the scientific papers. You know, the ones that you and I don't bother to read. Only up to Module 2, and the depth and wealth of information has really impressed me. He's right. There really isn't anything like this on the market. I'm so happy I made the decision to take part in this program. Now remember in the first video, I talked about how people are either interested or committed. People who are just interested love to sit and listen and learn, but they rarely ever do anything and often look for any excuse not to move forward. Now, some of you are committed. You're not sure how this is going to work for you, but you see how it's worked for so many others, so you have faith that it will work for you as well. And what I've found is that it's people who are committed who get ahead in life, while the people who are just interested, the dabblers, don't ever really seem to progress. Now, when you're ready to change your life, this is what you need to start doing. First, click the button below this video. After that, you'll fill out your details and then choose whether you want the 1 payment option or the 3 payment option. After that, you'll be sent an email with your login info to the Energy Blueprint program and an invite to join the members group. And then you're in. You're a member. And you're going to spend the next 8 weeks with me and my team of coaches rewiring your body and brain and mitochondria into high energy mode. Once you've been through this training and have everything set up, you can say goodbye to the stress and pain of fatigue and constantly feeling like you're watching your life go by without you. You'll be equipped with a formula, the blueprint for amazing energy levels for the rest of your life. Can you imagine what life will be like when you wake up one day and realize that you're filled with energy instead of having to drag yourself around every day? Can you imagine how your relationships, your career, your mood, your family life, and just about everything in your life will change when you're filled with energy that lasts all day long? What happens if you take action? Think for a minute about what your life can look like 6 months from now once you build your energy levels. What's your energy going to look like? Your mood, your body, your health, your relationships. Now think about what your life and energy will look like if you don't take action on this opportunity. What's your energy going to be like? Your mood, your body, your health, your relationships. If you don't take action, things are going to stay the same or more likely get worse. So if you want to say goodbye to fatigue forever, make your body strong, stress-proof, and resistant to disease, bring your best self into your relationships, sleep deeper than you have since you were a kid, rid yourself of depression and anxiety, and start feeling happy again. Have all-day energy and mental clarity. Take your health and performance to a whole new level. Wake up every morning ready to conquer the world. Bring more passion into everything you do in life. Double or triple your energy levels and go from dragging yourself through each day to living a life infused with passion, vitality, and aliveness, all in just 60 days. Then click the Buy Now button below and enroll right now. It's an incredible program, and it's made just for you to massively increase your energy levels. But you must order now because the class is capped, and once our limit is reached, registration will shut down. So 3 easy payments of $197 or save an additional $94 by making 1 payment of $497. Again, I can only accept a very limited number of people into this program, and I'm not trying to manufacture scarcity by saying that. That's just the reality of this. Because I'm doing live Q&A coaching calls every week with all the members who join the program, and because my team of Energy Blueprint coaches and I are answering questions in the members group, I have to make sure that we have enough time to personally help all of you and get you the support that you need to succeed. So once the class sells out, which it will, I can't accept any more members, and I have to close down registration. We've released the Energy Blueprint program several times before this, and every single time it has sold out. It will sell out again. Now, depending on when you're watching this, it could sell out within a couple days or the next few hours. And yes, we really do sell out, and this is a verifiable fact. So again, I'm not just making this up to create a false sense of urgency. Here's a screenshot of our private members group so you can see that we've had over 500 people register for each of our 2 previous releases, and 500 registrants was our max capacity. And again, you're protected by the best guarantee ever. If you don't at least double your energy levels, you get your money back and you get to keep the program. So look, there's a reason why you're watching this right now. So it's time for you to get decisive here. There's 0 risk. You have a 100% can't lose guarantee that only has 2 possibilities. You either get life-changing results or you get your money back. You've seen the testimonials and heard from people just like you who implemented this system and dramatically transformed their life. What happened with Beth and what happened with Lisi and all those other people that I showed you, I can't guarantee that you're gonna experience the exact same thing. But here's what I can guarantee you. If you don't take action on this program, the only thing you can expect is what you currently have or worse. I've done my absolute best to make this a value-packed offer for you, to make it the ultimate health and energy enhancement program in the world, plus having world-class support and step-by-step guidance the whole way through to make sure you succeed. and while offering it at an incredibly affordable price. And the reason why is simple. My passion is helping people transform their health and energy. So if you have struggles with your energy levels, my goal is to help you, and I'm doing everything in my power to do that. So you've watched this entire presentation, you want to get your energy back, and you know this is an excellent value. Take advantage of this opportunity. The amazing bonuses and a can't lose guarantee now. Click the buy button below and enroll today.